when your inner child lives, and so there's no disconnect, there's no shame, you will have the opportunity to continue enlightenment. And so the I'm presence, heart, body, and mind, or mind, heart, body. So this stays. Why? Because my prefrontal cortex stays engaged with my heart, because my inner child doesn't have heartbreak, gut wrench. And my gut, which is those three brains that they will have, the experts online. And remember, we're here for food for thought. We're not the experts. I'm the woo-woo pseudoscience lady. I'm a 5D mystic, not 4D. And integration of the brain is the difference, is that left is my chit chatter, my friend, and when my emotions come up, I don't project. 5D are emotionally accountable, aware, and self-regulating. We love Christ consciousness. Jesus stood in the I'm going to walk with the people, talk with the people, don't cast a stone, don't judge a book by its cover. A lot of things that the spirituality community forget, because they forget about their human body. And when they have disconnects happen, whether it's with relationships or there's a specific way that their pseudo-alive clinical dissociation happens, or structural dissociation, they ignore it because they think that the magic that is working through them is the fact that they have clairs. So when they are presented with the opportunity to bring inner and outer harmony, and remember to go beyond the solo self, which is actually what spirituality is all about. So let me read this for you just for a minute. Spirituality, a way of living with meaning and connection beyond the solo self. Our lovely Sadhguru, as he shares, spirituality is when, or divinity, excuse me, but divinity not as an entity from the monotheistic religions. That's a whole different group of people. No, it's when you overflow with your humanity, divinity has to descend. And Sadhguru doesn't even realize that he's sharing with you what it is to be a restorative embodiment, your mammalian heritage. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. So when you have the left and the right and their friends, it's called integration of the brain, which is your inner and outer well-being as a human being. And that's what we do here at Inspiring Human Potential. I get to share with you how easy it is. My inner child never died. So my 0-1-year-old attached panicky, I know how to self-regulate even when I'm having a panic attack. And my 3 to 7 shame submissive never felt shame because my mother didn't yell at me when I asked a zillion million questions. In fact, she never fear-mongered me. Which is also why God was never something that I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to come down and, beat me to death or something like that. No, I knew about the ego. In fact, God's the one that I told, hey, people are using your name. I think they forgot that you mentioned to them that they are not you. So divinity that descends upon us, the 5D enlightenment soul age group, we know it's a big sphere of energy consciousness, and it's really fun. By the way, we don't become misanthropists. So we don't hate, dislike, or distrust humankind, because that's what it means when you're a somatic empath. So the inner child lives, no disconnect or shame. We have a continuous enlightenment human being with your mind being engaged here, flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable. Thank you again, Daniel Siegel. And you are present because curiosity is what comes up. That's Shiva. No, that's Krishna Lila, because Krishna Lila explores the depths of seriousness with the playfulness, which are the first 3 years of your life, all implicit memory. So when you can trust humanity, it's because you unite and welcome in your home. So your first home is this, and that's why it's unfortunate that the spirituality bypassers, they don't know that it's just about being yourself. So they don't reclaim their inner child. They go on Elsa's journey, and then they become, unfortunately, Peter Pans, Wendy's, Lost Boys, Lost Girls, Cuscos and Squirrels, no Pachas, and then there's Pinocchio with the ears and the tails. So they do the shame cycle, which is inner critic in their head, they ruminate and they talk about things. Outer critic, when they're tired about, talking shit inside of them, then they do the fucking, the drugging, the drinking, and whatever other self-soothing mechanism might there be, and then they isolate and they suppress. And I see that this happens like attachment avoidant people. I notice they're creating a group because they feel that online there are people hating on attachment avoidant. That's when you know you got teenagers, because they're not like, wait a minute, but I can get therapy. Oh wait, they do go to therapy, and then they complain about personal development, and they say, well, they're saying I'm doing a good job, so I might as well not continue to do it. Plus journaling and mindfulness is really boring. So they don't understand that the 3 pillars of the mind, thank you, Daniel Siegel again, so that's focused attention, awareness, kind intention, is actually supporting your brain to heal and to move towards more integration. So it's not a one-time done deal, but then again, some people, they choose the human suffering love narrative. That's because movies like Hangover or Mean Girls seems interesting. So when they get all pissy in their pants, they think that means passion. No, that's not passion. It's just your maladaptive child behavior coming up. And there's good reasons for it, by the way, because you need to have secure attachment relationships. I have a secure attachment body. So I'm a safe haven and a secure base. And that's where that lovely solo polyamory community knows all about. We do not build couple-centric because our relationships, they're non-hierarchical, and there's anarchy because every person is beautiful. You're unique. Nobody can be you. And because we meet people who are either going to be self-empowered, so they know about self-worth, so they're not competing or comparing themselves. There's no attachment, envy, or jealousy. We talked about that. So they don't freak out and think they're going to lose you and then become spiteful 3-year-olds or vengeful. Wait a minute. There are people that do that. They will look like the squirrels, energetically speaking, and as a person who has met teenagers, as I was a teenager, yeah, it's cowardice. They don't do emotional lifting. They just throw it at you and then they stay that way, and they think that healthy boundaries is blocking, canceling you, passive aggressive, indirect communication between men and women. We'll talk about that today as well. So let's move forward though. The inner child, when it lives, we understand what it means to be upset. We feel very sad, not mad, because we're not going to correct. Anger is for correcting somebody's behavior. I'm not your mother. I'm a person. Oh, well, I got told. Again, I got determined with equanimity, and I got told, hey, mind your own business, leave your sister alone. Hey, mind your own business, leave everybody else alone. Okay, fine, I'll mind my own business. Okay, so you are beyond a solo self when you do have a family, the human herd, and then you know that spirituality is a bonus. All of it is a bonus because life is the most precious gift that we will be given. And we won't wait till we die to acknowledge it. I love educational material, by the way. That's why I'm pseudoscience lady. I'm not a flat earther. I'm pseudoscience lady because I bring together different topics for my 5D mystics and the 5D collective as we build a community of people who does not actually make fun of Akashic record readings and tarot card, and they also know yoga doesn't bring demons out of anybody, and we know about trauma charges. Okay, so healing trauma is serious business, and it begins with us being able to have fun together and know that when somebody's in their biological rudeness, whether they're a narcissist or avoidant attachment, discard or breakup, it's really going to be the same for an empowered woman. It's going to be, we were not a match, it's okay, you have fun. Compersion. Compersion means that as long as you're happy, I'm happy for you. Oh, there's no devil or demon in this sense that the monotheistic belief system does it. Enlightenment Soul Age Group and 5D Mystic, as I said. Oh, and neuroscientist Patrick McNamara, he proves, at least up till now, his studies have shown there's a fear receptor in your brain. So unless you don't believe that your brain is something that is actually, there, which is why I say some people, they don't want to say they're flat earthers, but I'm going to say they're in the group. And I actually think flat earthers are amazingly smart. I hope to meet one day and then ask, hey, so you think you could do something more with your brain to help all of human beings, like the environment, important topics, or are you just going to want to go and keep on disproving this thing so that you're heard, the whole culty cult, ethical cult, traditional cult. So inner children that aren't taken by their own grown-up, yes, they need somewhere to belong. It's called magical thinking. Oh, in 4D mystics, they talk about our clairs like it's magical powers, which is really not quite that. It's, something for another episode. Okay, so Janina Fisher. Thank you, Janina. Emotional neglect is usually the result of parents who are unavailable, critical, who believe the child should raise themselves. Traumatic neglect involves fear and threat. This is very sad, which is why a 5D mystic, or not, but a 5D human being, Christ consciousness, we know how to forgive, not because you've done something wrong, because we're educated. I know that if somebody gets angry in my face, it's okay. They are not a physical weapon. See, restorative embodiment is what your Enlightenment Soul Age Group is all about, an integration of your brain and the actual maturity of you, your inner child. I know that you're a child. I wanted to build a snowman. You don't. It's okay. I'm not going to get in your face about it because you weren't rude. You just don't know how to work with your child self. Resentment, Shelley Harold, PhD, is typically associated with an initial anger response or some anger that hasn't been expressed. Okay, and thank you, Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healed in healing, good therapist, great community online for anybody who wants to heal and reclaim their inner child. You cannot bring your inner child back to life and not reparent, and it takes time. What is challenging, he shares, I'm going to read a little bit and then we're going to go, is that we often parent ourselves how we were parented. So we all start reparenting from an inconsistent place and working towards more consistencies and little victories. But he says if we leave it to a once in a while thinking of them while still having our childhood trauma run us, we might remain stuck. Okay, so trauma, very important to take seriously for those who have no inner child yet that lives. We can support them, the ones of us who have an inner child that lives. It's a restorative embodiment, integrated brain, which is why we're emotionally aware, accountable, and self-regulating, and we don't do projection. And if somebody projects their maladaptive child behavior and their shame cycle, we know how to handle it like a pacha. We don't lecture, because therapy is for the people who don't have the inner child who lives. And so we'll be back with another couple episodes. In the meantime, if you have any questions, let me know. And remember, we have the opinion columnist questions, Ask Maria, on the audio podcast versions. And once we get to our lovely membership versions, we're going to have it on YouTube too. So have a wonderful day.